Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am checking right now. I am checking my Wi-Fi and a few other things to make sure that everything is the way it is supposed to be. And I am changing that right now. What happens to me is I bring my laptop with me pretty much everywhere I go. So if you ever want to know where Bonnie is, all you need to do is check the cookies on her laptop and you will see loads and loads about her life. So I needed to change one of the settings in my laptop. All right, so I am live streaming right now onto my profile. I'm going to be recording episode 15 of my Business Fabulous podcast. If you have not yet checked out my podcast, you could certainly do it right there. bit.ly/Business Fabulous. It's called the Business Fabulous Podcast. I have 13 episodes that are out right now. Episode 14 drops on Monday, and this will be episode 15, which will drop next week. But if you stick around, you'll be able to hear it right now. So this episode is about writing epic blog posts. So it's every single thing you need in a blog post to have your readers and your target audience clamoring for more. Hey, Michael, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and record episode 15 of the podcast. I can answer any questions and reply to the comments after the recording, but while I'm doing the recording, you'll just see what I'm like recording when I'm usually sitting in my office like I am right now, but I'm usually sitting here by myself and not live streaming. So I thought it might be nice if you all got to see me live streaming my podcast. Here's the mic that I use to do just that. So I realize that it kind of blocks my face, but you need to be up in the mic. This particular one, this is a Rode. You could see right there, branding right there. It is a Rode mic, and you kind of need to talk into the side of it. So you don't really talk like that. You kind of talk like that. And this is a pop filter or a windscreen, some people call it. And that came with it. The whole thing came with it. And then I have this arm that I can move back and forth as I need to and up and down as I need to. It's on a boom as I need to get up on that mic. All right, so here we go. I'm recording the episode right now. You'll hear my intro, you'll hear the content, and you'll hear my outro, so you really will see exactly how I record an episode. Here we go. Welcome to the Business Fabulous Podcast, where I take your business from right now to fabulous in less than 30 minutes. In each episode, I give you easy, actionable tips and strategies to quickly boost your online visibility, grow your social media, and pinpoint your marketing. This episode is sponsored by the Business Fabulous Academy, a 24-week step-by-step program that fills in all of the blanks of your online business so that you can sell out your products, programs, and services ASAP. Get your target audience coming to you in the Business Fabulous Academy. It's the blueprint for everything you need to efficiently grow your business. To check it out, go to bit.ly/BizFab Academy. bit.ly/BizFab Academy. Remember to also join my Facebook group. It's a free Facebook group, bit.ly/BizFabFB group. And there I'll give you daily strategies, tips, and support to grow your online business in fabulous ways. This is episode 15, where we discuss how to write an epic blog post that has your target audience eagerly asking for more. Let's get started. After this point, I've got some music and a professional intro, and then I say, Welcome back to the episode. This is episode 15, how to write an epic blog post that has your target audience eagerly clamoring for more. All right, so there's certain things that you absolutely have to have in a blog post, in my opinion. I have read thousands and thousands of blog posts, and some were really enjoyable to read, and some were slightly painful, and I would just give up. Sometimes because the writing was poor, but sometimes because it just wasn't giving me value. And people today live very, very busy lives, especially online. Our attention and our time online is being dwindled down dramatically. So you want to get people to your website and you want to keep them there. It's not enough to just attract, you've got to compel them. And then, of course, you want to convert them into customers. Well, part of a conversion could be converting them into a reader, a blog post reader. But you're not going to convert somebody into a reader, and you're certainly not going to get them to do any more than skimming and scanning your blog post and getting all the way to the bottom if it doesn't have valuable content. So I'm going to tell you everything that you need in every blog post to make sure that it's epic, to make sure that you are attracting your readers, you're keeping your readers to the end, and you are asking them for more and more. Alrighty, so the first thing that you need to have in any blog post is a compelling title. Now, I'm not talking about any sort of clickbait. I'm talking about a compelling title that has keywords, very important for Google. It has keywords, you're using verbs, you're using adjectives, you're using adverbs. If you listen to this title of this episode, it's exactly what I just said. The title of this episode, and it's going to be the title of the blog post that goes with it next week, how to write epic blog posts that have your target audience eagerly asking for more, or that have your target audience clamoring for more. All of those things, I'm using keywords. So I'm using blog post, I'm using target audience. Those are keywords or key phrases. So those are things that people search for. And then I'm also saying eagerly asking for more or clamoring for more. So I'm giving you some visuals. I'm giving you some strong words, some really compelling verbs and adjectives and adverbs to help you really spice up the title. I could say how to write a blog post. I could say this episode is how to write a blog post. Well, that's not very exciting. What do you mean how to write a blog post? If you know how to write, you can write a blog post. But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in making sure you know that I'm telling you how to write epic blog posts. Adjective, epic blog posts. An epic blog post that has your target audience asking for more over and over and over again. So your title has to have keywords. It should be keyword rich. And you should be using verbs, adjectives, adverbs to spice it up and to really make your readers want to click and want to read all the way to the bottom. Because remember, the good stuff should be throughout your blog post, not just at the very bottom. All right, so that's number one, compelling title. Number two, relevant topic. People write blog posts about all sorts of things these days. And sometimes I read them and I think, wow, that is so timely. That is such, oh my God, I'm so glad I saw that. I'm going to read that right now. That is such a timely topic. And other times I look at the blog post and I think, nobody's really talking about that anymore. That's like 5-10 years ago that we were talking about this. So you need to make sure that what you're writing about is really what people are wanting to read. It's really what people are searching in their computers and their smartphones, on their tablets. It's really what people are thinking about. So they're searching for it on social media. They're searching for it on Google. They're searching for it on YouTube. If you are not sure what it is that people are really interested in today, if you're not really sure what it is that people are interested in, go to YouTube and start searching. Go to Google, start searching. Go to Twitter, look for hashtags. Go to Instagram, look for hashtags. Look at the things. Go to Medium. Look at some of, Medium is where you can publish blog posts. It's owned by Facebook. Go to some of the mentors and some of the gurus. I hate to use that word, but you know what I mean. Some of the people that you follow online that you really do trust. Go and look at what they are writing about. Listen to what they are talking about. Look at the different conferences. Go to conferences. See the types of things that are being covered. If you're still unsure, go to Amazon. Amazon is a great search tool. It's a fabulous search tool. Look at the types of things that people are writing books on and go all the way down the list. Look at like 20 book titles. Look at the titles. Don't just look at who writes them. Look at the titles. Is it a compelling title? What keywords are they using? Is somebody taking a different spin or a different bent on a topic? So Amazon, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all of those things are wonderful, easy, and free ways to figure out what people are talking about and what you should talk about. And it can't just be relevant, period, to somebody. It's got to be relevant to your target audience. If your target audience isn't interested in it, why are you covering it? If your target audience isn't interested in you talking about a topic, why in the world are you talking about it on a global platform? Why are you podcasting about it? Why are you live streaming about it? Why are you making a YouTube video about it? It's got to be relevant to your people. Super important. All right. That was number 2. So number 1, compelling title. Number 2, relevant topic. Number 3, you need to be using captivating images. Now, I didn't just say pretty pictures, did I? I said captivating images. So that image could be a photograph. That image could be some sort of sketch. That image could be some sort of, royalty-free something or other that you got off the internet. Royalty free is really important. Otherwise, you better be giving credit where credit is due. It's got to be captivating. That image, and this is really important, and as adults, we forget this. That image has got to, all by itself, without any words, draw in the reader. That image has got to be exciting enough, captivating enough, colorful enough, interesting enough, compelling enough to draw the reader in, to make the reader want to look at the headline or the title of the blog post and then actually read it. I am telling you, when you hear a picture tells 1,000 words, that is true. The picture many times is what is going to bring in your reader much more than the title. The picture, the image that you choose to use for your blog post, that's what's going to be drawing the people in, not necessarily the title. Now, I want you to have a compelling title. I want you to use keywords. I want you to maximize every single possible corner you can to detail's a better word. I want you to maximize every single detail in your blog post that you can. And one of the details is a captivating image. So make sure that image alone tells a story, enough of a narrative to draw your people in and get them reading. Get them reading the title and get them reading the blog post. So number 3 is captivating images. The 4th thing you need is relevant and valuable. Valuable should be like in neon flashing lights. For those of you listening to the podcast, I'm, doing kind of like jazz hands with my jazz fingers with my hands showing neon lights, but you can't see that. Just imagine. So you want to have relevant and valuable links in your blog post. And the images, those captivating images I just talked about, each of those needs to be linked back to that blog post so that you can maximize your presence on Pinterest. If you just have a blog, if you just have a Pinterest image and it's not linked to the blog post, that's not going to be helpful. Don't link it to your website, link it to the blog post and where it lives on your website. If somebody sees that image and they click on it on Pinterest, they want to land on the website exactly where the blog post is, not on the homepage of your website, unless that's where the blog post is. They want to get to the blog and not the blog in general where there's 200 blog posts. They want to get to the exact blog post that links to that exact captivating image. Super important. Please make sure that the links that you provide are correct, that they are not broken. So you need to check every single one, and if something is broken, fix it, please. You need to make sure that the links that you're providing in the blog post are relevant. Once again, not just relevant to the times, but in particular, relevant to your target audience. You can make sure that every single blog post you ever write is evergreen content. Evergreen meaning that it's not attached to a particular day or time or an event. It's evergreen. It can be ever of interest forever and ever. At any time of the day, month, year, century, doesn't matter. So you can totally cover only evergreen content. That's 100% fine. But please make sure that whatever content you're covering and the links that you're providing are valuable, once again, for your target audience. If they're not valuable to your target audience, they're not valuable. That's the way you need to think about it. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is number 4. Number 5 is something that most people don't think about when they're writing a blog post. And I've got 2 more after this. Most people do not think about this particular detail when they write a blog post. And I think it's really maybe even the most important one. It really is the most important one. And that is put a piece of you inside that blog post. I'm not saying you have to disclose your deepest, darkest secrets. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying you need to have a blog post that sounds like you. It sounds like you speak. It reads like you write. It has your bent. It has your phrases. It has you all over it. The blog post should bleed your brand. The blog post should represent you, what you're about, your why, your brand, and it should be providing your target audience with just a little bit more of you every single time. Because your audience is not just coming to your blog post for information. They are, of course. They're coming there for valuable information. Your target audience is coming to your blog post for valuable information. Sure they are, but they're also coming to relate to you more, to get a little bit more of you, to get a better understanding of you. They want more of you. So you need to make sure that that you is in each and every single blog post and everything you do. The next thing that you need to provide is at least one call to action. At least one call to action. Now, you don't really want to have a blog post that is just chock full of links and calls to action and do this and do that and do the other and go here and go there and put your elbow in and put your elbow out and turn all around and do the hokey pokey. You don't need all of that in every blog post. I find that to be very bothersome when people just load in way too much stuff in a blog post. But the links that you do provide and the calls to action that you do provide should be relevant to the topic of that post. So, for example, in this particular live stream, I'm live streaming this podcast episode. I have a link to my podcast showing on the screen. So for those of you listening to my podcast, obviously you already know where to find it. But I have a link which says bit.ly/businessfabulous. And if you go to anywhere, if you go to bit.ly/businessfabulous, you will land on the podcast page of my website. And directly from that page, you can subscribe to the podcast in 3 different ways. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe on Google Podcasts, and you can subscribe on Stitcher. I believe Stitcher's the third one. Maybe it's Spotify. Anyway, I'm in all of those places and many, many more. But you can subscribe directly from this link that I'm talking about, bit.ly/businessfabulous. You can go there and subscribe to my podcast right there. Or wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Business Fabulous or my name, type in Bonnie L. Frank, and up will pop this bright pink square that says Business Fabulous. It's got a crown, and that's what you want to subscribe to. So you need to provide a call to action, at least one, that's relevant to the topic, relevant to the content that you are covering in your blog post. You need to provide that in the blog post. And when you provide the call to action, once again, please make sure that that link works. Now, that call to action could be to buy something, or it could be to join a free Facebook group, for example. So I have a Facebook group, bit.ly/bizfabfb group. That's the Business Fabulous Facebook group, and it's totally free. I'm in there every single day providing loads and loads of valuable content. It's a brand new group for this podcast and also for my rebranding, which is Business Fabulous. So I'm basically shutting down the rest of my Facebook groups, and this is the one, bit.ly/bizfabfb group. BizFabFB group. So your call to action could be a freebie. It could be an opt-in on your website. It could be join a Facebook group. It could be listen to a podcast like we just did. It could be subscribe to the podcast, and I talked about that. It could be, hey, I would love for you to shout me out on your Instagram stories, and I will shout you right back. Right? So give me a shout out on your Instagram stories, and I will take that and I will add it to my stories as well, and you'll get double exposure. So that could be a wonderful call to action as well. The last thing is, and it goes along with the call to action and providing a piece of you in the blog post, the last thing that you need to make sure to provide in every single epic blog post is where people can get more of you, where they can find out more information, or where they can hang out with you more, whether it's virtually or in person. Maybe you're going to be speaking at a conference, like I'll be speaking at She Podcasts in less than a month. I can't wait. Maybe, you're going to have a meetup at a conference. I'm having a Monetize Your Podcast Creatively meetup at the She Podcast conference. It is the Thursday, the day before the conference officially starts, and it's at 3:30 in the afternoon. And that's directly in the hotel in the Marriott Marquis in Atlanta. Beautiful hotel. Oh my goodness. So pretty. So I have just now done another call to action. I said that I'm holding a meetup, and I said where, and I said when, and I said what it was about. So where can people find more information? Where can they relate to you more? Where can they get more of you? That's really important because your people want that. Yes, they want relevant content. Yes, they want valuable content. Yes, they want things for free. And yes, the more you do that, the more likely they are also going to pay for your products, your programs, and your services. The more value you provide freely, the more likely somebody will buy your products, programs, and services. And that's another reason why you want to keep people on your website. So episode 12 and 13 are all about bounce rates and how you can, why people bounce off a website and how you can keep them on your website, not just attract them and compel them, but convert them over and over and over, how you can really keep them on your website. Because the fact is, and this fact will never change, the longer somebody stays on your website, the more likely they are to buy your stuff. The more likely they are to buy whatever it is you're selling, if you can keep them there longer. So I hope this has really, really helped you. And I have a challenge for you this week. I always have a challenge for you. And the challenge that I have is I want you to go through some blog post, any blog post that you've written. It doesn't matter if you've written it recently or you wrote it years ago. Look back at any of your blog posts and make sure that that blog post contains all of the information that I talked about in this episode. I would venture to say that something is probably missing. And one of the things that people tend to not do, because it's kind of a pain, is to go back and update blog posts. And that is so important. If there's broken links, you need to fix them. If you change an image to make it more compelling, you are much more likely to get more eyeballs and more readers and more opt-ins from that blog post. So change it up, spruce it up, tidy it up. You can Marie Kondo your blog posts, make sure all the links work, go back, see if at least one of those things that I mentioned can use a little bit of help in your blog post, and I bet it can. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of Business Fabulous. I hope that you'll take today's challenge, reach out to me on social media, and let me know how you're doing. If you screenshot yourself listening to Business Fabulous or doing one of the challenges, I will absolutely reshare it on my social media. Remember, together we are Business Fabulous. Be sure to subscribe to Business Fabulous on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you never miss an episode. Want to suggest a topic? Awesome! Please email me at listener@bonnielfrank.com. This topic about epic blog posts, this topic was one that a listener suggested to me. So anytime there's something that you would like me to cover on the Business Fabulous podcast, just reach out to me and let me know. If you'd rather not email me, that's okay. You can always DM me on social media. You know I'm all over social media. I hope you have an awesome day filled with loads of smiles and lots of opportunities. Until next time, and as always, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to help nurture that spark inside of you to become Business Fabulous. All right, so that's how I start and that's how I end. You heard everything that will be in that episode. Well, actually, you probably heard more because I will do some editing. So you heard more than will be in that episode. Plus, I do a brief intro with a call to action. Then I have a professional intro. Then I provide the content, and then I have an outro with a call to action. So just like I'm saying, provide a call to action in your epic blog posts, I'm providing calls to action in my podcasts and my blog posts and all over social media and on my website. Calls to action are really, really important. Even though you think that you've told them so many times to go here and do this, click on this button, it might be the first time that they're actually hearing you. You might have told them, but maybe they were doing the dishes, or maybe the dog just had an accident on the carpet, or maybe they really weren't paying attention because they were listening but not really listening, or they didn't really read every word of the blog post. They just kind of skimmed it, so they kind of skimmed right over that call to action. So don't worry about providing the same call to action more than once. Don't worry. Someone will either do it or they won't. No one is going to unfollow you on your podcast because one of your calls to action is to subscribe to the podcast. That just makes sense. I'm going to tell people to subscribe to the podcast. Ironically, I did not do that in the first several episodes. So there's nothing wrong with providing calls to action. People expect them. And if you want to grow your list, and if you want to increase your online visibility, and if you want to grow your social media following, and if you want to sell your products, programs, and services, you really do need to tell people what to do. You really do need to provide those calls to action. So don't worry. I'll let you know if you're bugging me, but probably I'll just be cheering you on, being like, yes, 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 yes. She's providing calls to action just like she needs to. So I hope you enjoyed watching me record my podcast. All of my podcast episodes can be found at bit.ly/businessfabulous. That's the page on my website where I have just the podcast episodes. If you click on blog, then, which is my website, bonnielfrank.com/blog. If you click on blog, then you'll find you can listen to the podcast plus all the show notes are there. This link is just the podcast, but it's also where you can subscribe to the podcast in 3 different places if you're not sure where to do that on your smartphone or on your computer, your tablet, or wherever else. It's very easy to find the Business Fabulous podcast, and it's even easier because it's a bright pink square that you need to be looking for. When you see that, when you Google Business Fabulous, you see that bright pink square, that's the one you want to click on. That's the one that you want to subscribe to. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please reach out to me at any time. Let me know if there's something that you would like me to cover on my podcast. And I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll catch you later. Bye.